Today is
to order.
Wednesday, December 16th. What? Yeah, and the time is 6 o'clock. We are opening the Cultural Council meeting. As a preliminary matter, this is Robin Lawson, Chair of the Newbury Cultural Council. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bart Bracken?
Here.
Minnie Flanagan? Michelle Oulette?
Here.
Thank you.
Hi, Minnie. Would you say here, Minnie?
Here.
Thanks. And Margaret Russell?
Here.
Amy Thurlaw.
Yes.
Today is an open meeting of the Newbury Cultural Council, which is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Newbury Cultural Council is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the Cultural Council agenda, which can be found on the Cultural Council section of the town's website. The agenda identifies how the public may join the meeting. This agenda can also be accessed from the website's homepage by clicking on the box that says Agenda at the top of the news box. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating via video conference. Now let's get into the agenda. So the first item is to approve the October 21st meeting minutes, which I believe you all have seen. Let's take a roll call. I don't see the necessity to read through the minutes. If anybody would like to read through the minutes, I can do that. Nope. Okay. Approve the minutes. Amy?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Bart?
Yes.
Minnie?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, next on the agenda is Nina. And here's what we have for you. Explanation and walkthrough of Smart Simple application and update on the state budget and deadlines. Let's actually reverse those, Mina, if that's okay.
Sure. So, all right. So I think, since the last time we talked, several things have changed. The most important thing being the governor signed the budget. Yay.
Yay.
So the Mass Cultural Council is getting $18.18 million. And so that's basically level funding. They actually gave us a tiny bit more than last year. But ultimately, we are incredibly thankful for all of your efforts, as well as, the legislators and the governor in supporting arts and culture, because it's kind of incredible that they are level funding us during this time. So that's really good news. What happens now is our Mass Cultural Council board has to meet to approve program allocation. So we have 7 different program areas at the Mass Cultural Council, the community initiative being one of them, under which the LCC program sits under. And so once the program amounts are finalized, we'll then move on to finalizing the LCC allocations. And so we anticipate that this will be done by January 7th. That's when our board meets. And hopefully, if everything goes well, the allocation should be out. And what happens then is each allocation for each LCC gets uploaded onto Mass-Culture. And so it should automatically pop up in your council profile on the Mass-Culture toolkit, as well as in section 2, where there's a box there that's reserved for the fiscal year 21 allocation amount. So that should all be set by the second full week of January. So we'll keep you updated on that. The other thing is that the LCC deadline was this Monday. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the applications. So there's actually no real reason to go into Smart Simple right now. But I think, just so you're able to see, I'm going to, can I share my screen? Oh, Robin, if you wouldn't mind giving me screen sharing capabilities, I can just show it to you.
It's
So
me.
you know.
I have to do it. I'm the host.
Oh, Amy, thank
Just
you.
1 sec. Trying to figure it out. I can't modify advanced sharing options as they're locked.
Can you, when you open up participants, can you make me co-host or panelist or anything
Yeah,
like
let me
that?
try.
Okay.
1 sec. All right, you are now a co-host.
Oh, great. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'll just do this. All right, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm just going to show you Smart Simple. Um,
Can we log into our own?
so
Now?
every LCC has one login.
Okay.
So let me just look up.
Amina, do we use this instead of the old way now?
So we're currently making program books. Do I need to do anything around
No,
that?
I do, but I don't even know where he is. I usually use Teams. I'm gonna find him. Here we go.
Okay. So I'm just going to, oops.
I'm sorry. I did that and then I didn't hear your answer. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right. So I'm just going to show you Smart Simple, just so you know what it is. But we're in the process of creating the panel books, which we upload onto Mass-Culture, and I'll show you that in a minute too.
So Mina, what was the whole purpose of Smart Simple? Well, I just never got that.
Yeah, so Smart Simple. So each LCC has one account associated with Smart Simple, and there are two ways LCCs use this. So one is to keep track of how many applications come through in the case that they might want to promote more around the LCC opportunity if they see like fewer applications than normal coming in. The second way that councils use this is to go in and actually review the applications that have come through if they don't want to wait for the panel books to be generated. And so for the panel books, we're trying to do them as quickly as possible. So if everything goes smoothly, we should actually have them ready by the end of this week. But sometimes we've said that before and we've run into technical issues. And so sometimes it takes like a couple of weeks. But everything seems to be going okay. I did want to show you this, but it's not letting me.
Mina, I just noticed that our website allocation on there is mixed up with another council. It's New Marlboro, and they had the Newbury one.
Oh, good catch. I'm not sure why. I'll have to look at that.
While we're doing that, Robin, do we need to do anything to acknowledge Lloyd's here? Do you need to say, Lloyd, acknowledge you're here?
Oh, Lloyd's here.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Lucky everybody. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Lloyd.
Hi, Lloyd.
I don't think so. Just Lloyd, you just kind of said that you're present, and we'll add your name to the minutes. And
Okay.
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 Hi, Lloyd. I'm just showing Smart Simple, just so you all can see what it looks like. So right now I'm emulating the session. So you would see it as like if you had gone in.
Understood.
So right now, so usually you would see everything under submitted, but because we're generating the panel books, everything's been shifted over to under review. So it looks like you received 18 applications. And so as I mentioned before, like before the deadline, some councils use this as a way to track how many applications are coming through and then market it more if needed. And then also for folks who scheduled their meetings or if they're just curious, meetings earlier than the panel books are available or are just curious, then they go in and they just like go through the application. So you can go through each section like this, or you can also download a PDF of the application. So what I will do now is, so this is Smart Simple, and it looks like, let's see, let me actually log out for in section. It looks like the main email address is this one.
Yep.
And then Robin, I believe you have the password. So if
I
others
do.
want to go in, Robin has the password. And only one person from an LCC can go in at the same time. So yeah, so it's not a platform that people use often because there are kind of like these little limitations. But I just wanted to show that to you. The other thing I'll show you now is, all right. So Newberry, I don't think we've been able to upload the council starting with N yet, but let's just see. So, all right, so this is where the panel book lives. Oh, it's up.
Ooh,
So yes, so your panel book is red. Let's see if it actually loads. But it looks like it's up. Let's see. So if it's up, it's easier to use this PDF. So here's everything. And yeah, unfortunately, it's something that we've asked Smart Simple to offer, but unfortunately, we're not able to like alphabetize the applications by project title or by applicant. It's something that we've been asking them for. So hopefully next year we can give you a better table of contents. But every application that's come through is there. If you are looking for a specific application and you don't feel like scrolling down all the way, just do Control F and you can search by application number or application ID. Let's see. So everything's here. So all the applications are here. You can see the budget for this particular application. Let's see if we can find one that has supplementals just to make sure they show up.
So Mina,
Yep.
because this is a PDF, are we able to download this off and then distribute it that way rather than have everyone go in to Smart Simple?
Yes. So you
Okay.
can just download here, save it, and then just send everyone the link.
Excellent.
Michelle.
I don't, this isn't Smart Simple, right? I mean, we're
Right.
actually.
Oh, sorry. This is Mass Culture. the
Yeah,
toolkit.
So you can log in with your own, you'll get your own credentials, Michelle.
Okay.
I'll log in whenever we want.
Yeah, I think we're probably just going to skip over Smart Simple because here it is, which is it's an interim solution from what I understand from what you said, Mina. So we just can, for the time being, we can just ignore that.
Yes. Yeah, for this year, there's really no point in going into Smart Simple.
Does Minnie have a
So-
question? Minnie, are you raising your hand?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Thank
sorry.
you.
I do have a question about Smart Simple though. So is that also a mechanism of how payments are made to particular
No,
awardees? Okay.
not yet. We are hoping to integrate all of the grants at Mass Cultural Council into Smart Simple next year, with the hope of also connecting it to our contracts and fiscal department. So we'll see how that build out goes. But right now it's not connected to payment. In terms of payment, I guess since that question came up, I'll give you some information about how LCCs receive their allocation. So once the allocation is finalized, actually, so this is the panel book, and I'm going to go back.
Michelle, we'll make sure that you have what you need to get into this. I mean, everybody has it, but since you just joined us, I'll circle back on that, okay? Make sure you have the password.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll also just show you where the allocation will automatically show up. So you don't have to do anything. From our end, once we know the allocations, we're going to put it into our database, and then it will show up here. And then it will also show up, that was under council info. It will also show up in your annual report, section 2. So it will show up in box H. So I was going to tell you about the allocation. So once it's approved and it shows up here, councils need to make sure both, well, so section 1 ideally should be done. And both of these sections need to be completed soon after you receive your allocation. So I would recommend trying to definitely complete section 1 and try to fill as much of section 2 as possible and just leave this box blank for now. And then once you get the allocation before your voting meeting, you'll need to like hit the calculate button so that you know your total amount available to grant in FY21. And so once you have that amount available, you can hold your voting meeting, and you can also hit section complete. And when you hit section complete, this will alert our fiscal department that you've completed sections 1 and 2, and the contract for the LCC allocation is ready to be drawn up. And so this contract goes to your municipality. It doesn't go directly to the LCC officers. And so once the contract is drafted with the allocation amount, it goes to your municipality. It's signed usually by someone who's the appointing authority or the town or city clerk, and then it's sent back. And then once it's sent back to our office, that's when the amount is released to the municipality and ends up in your account. So that's sort of the process in terms of how allocations get transferred between the state and the municipality. So, so it is important that you complete section 2 before you hold your voting meeting, ideally. So let's see. So that's that.
Hey, Mina, one quick question.
Sure.
You see where down below it says member list, not
Mhm.
incomplete? Why is that?
Oh, so this is just because you haven't touched this section yet.
I
And
see.
so basically all you have to do is confirm that all these people are active members, there's no
Okay.
one missing, and then you just hit section complete.
Okay, do you mind, I just wanted to make a really quick point, Mina. Remember, everybody, we were talking about possible nominees to take over as chair, and I said, you can look at the list online. Former members, that's actually what I was referring to right there,
Okay.
okay? If anybody's there, I've looked at it a couple of times, I don't know everybody. I didn't actually see any candidates, but we can revisit that another time when Mina's not here.
And I don't know if anyone here is interested in being chair, but I've noticed more councils are kind of like doing co-chairs right now, and also co-treasurers. So if anyone is interested in being a chair but doesn't want like all of the responsibility, there's always the option to share that position with another person.
That would be ideal.
We had this on our agenda too for you, which is, do you have any advice for recruiting new chairs?
Recruiting new chairs.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm going to stop share for a minute. So I feel like usually with the chair position, there's sometimes hesitation because it seems like it's a lot of responsibility. And there are a lot of tasks listed under the chair description that we sometimes provide for LCCs. What I've been recommending is for groups, for council members to kind of talk through like what it is they're interested in doing and what sort of skills or experience they'd like to share through their service as council members. And through that, I feel like it's helped people kind of move away from thinking the chair has to do X, Y, and Z, the secretary has to do X, Y, and Z, the treasurer has to do X, Y, and Z, but rather like come up with their own descriptions and also distribute different tasks amongst themselves. So it doesn't feel like one or two or three people are maybe like overextended. So I don't know if, are you still recruiting new members? It sounds like you're recruiting new members.
Not
We
really.
should be. Well, we should be recruiting a chair.
Oh, no, we definitely should be. But we're not, but beyond that, no. This is a relatively stable and new group.
I mean, among this group, is there anyone who is interested in being a chair or in exploring that role?
No,
We had
but I
that
did
talk
notice
last
a
time.
couple of people that were on that older list that may have an interest in coming on board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of like reasons as to not wanting to take the chair position, would you mind sharing like why you might not want that?
Me personally,
Sure.
my husband recently passed away and I'm trying not to take on more than I can do.
I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
personally, I'm already the treasurer, which is a little bit of a handful. It's a huge learning curve because the previous person just left me. And normally I travel for work, so I don't have the time to commit to something that Robin has been spending a ton of time doing.
Mhm.
Like if I can go back on the road, I will not have time to do a chair type role.
Mhm. So
And for
yeah,
me,
I mean, there
Yeah,
is.
but I'd love to hear from everybody else.
Yeah.
for me, I'm too new. I'm just learning. I'm new to the area, don't know the people, don't know everything. And I feel that once I do, then I'd be, open to it. But I need more time under my belt, I believe. I'm also this is a very busy time with COVID, and the work that I do. It's really taken its toll in terms of my free time.
Well, for me, I feel totally unqualified to do it.
You and me both.
I certainly would do something in collaboration with someone else who might know something about it, but I really don't feel that I am qualified to do it, so.
Yeah, and for me, it's just extending myself beyond what I'm able to do with involvement with other groups.
Does that leave me?
Hey, Lloyd.
Lloyd.
I run a full-time business, arts business. I already have to have somebody run my websites and all that. I don't know if I have the time,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Okay.
It sounds like there are 3 people who are potentially open to exploring this position in the near or, a few months out future. So yeah, I mean, I totally understand. And something that we want to make sure is that people who take on the chair position don't feel like, we want to make sure they don't feel burdened. And we also want to make sure that they have the capacity and the support to really, reach their full potential as the chair. And I think, so I've been in this position for 3.5 years. And when I first joined, we really changed the way in which we worked with local cultural councils. And so before, it really was, the chair had all of these duties listed under their responsibilities. And the treasurer was, the one who did sections 1 and 2, and then the secretary who took care of the minutes and was sort of the contact between the municipality and the LCC. But what we've been doing is really trying to get councils to understand and also leverage each other's roles and expertise and experience, and to really have them explore what sort of local cultural council they want to build as part of the broader community. So, and we've also been providing a lot more one-on-one support, whereas before it was more, our relationship with LCC members was really more regulatory. So are you doing this? Are you doing that? Whereas now we offer more customized workshops and also, as I said, one-on-one support to see what type of needs LCC members have in fulfilling in fulfilling their duties as LCCs. So I just want to, add that in there to let you know that I am here. If you are interested in whatever it is that you want to do through the LCC, and I can, help you as you pursue your various initiatives. In terms of like recruiting specifically for a chair, so what's your time frame for trying to get a new chair in place?
That's a good question because my term runs out, I believe, the end of June, but there needs to be some knowledge transfer built in to that. And so, yeah, and I just have a suggestion. This largely comes from having talked to a friend, actually Judy Margaret, who is on the board of Montserrat College of Art. And she was saying that her board term is up whenever it's up. And Montserrat College of Art has a policy whereby they have something called a council that enables board members who are transitioning out to stay involved. So that's important not only for institutional knowledge, but also for just keeping the people who care engaged. So Mina, I'm just wondering if that's a model. Also, I had another question. If you before you answer that one, do you happen to know if the term limits are set by the MCC or is that by the town?
So, so at the state level, LCC members can serve 2 consecutive terms, each term being 3 years. So that's set in statute. However, some municipalities have shorter terms or they have different policies around reappointments. So that's, up to the municipality.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you. And so then my other first question having to do with, is there anything in place to just institutionalized to keep past members engaged as opposed to just, checking out, which everybody who is no longer on our council, members who were in place when I first came on, they just checked out, they're gone.
Yeah, so members can stay on as ex officio members. And so ex officios can attend the meetings. They just can't participate in any voting meetings around like the LCC application. They also can't vote on anything, but they can certainly attend the meetings and be a part of, any sort of initiative. There are also some LCCs that have volunteer committees, sometimes comprised of former members. And so volunteers, meetings are open to everyone, right? Because it's an open meeting. But volunteers can choose to attend meetings or not, but they're usually there to help out with, if there's an event that the LCC puts on, or if the LCC needs help with promoting the grant opportunity. So there's also, the option of creating a volunteer council at some point if you want. But in terms of members whose terms are ending, who want to stay on, you can just place yourself as an ex officio. And you might want to check with the municipal clerk around whether or not you need to inform anyone about this, like a select board, if you need to inform them. From our end, you don't, but again, municipalities have their own protocol, so you'll want to check with them.
Okay, that was super helpful. Does anybody have any questions for Mina?
And Margaret, just in terms of like not being qualified, I feel like, all LCC members, they come in with so much experience and they come in wearing multiple hats and are very passionate about their community. And so to me, that's like qualification enough. I don't think you need, I guess like for different positions, like there are certain skill sets, but again, I'm always here to help you in whatever way you need. If you do want to, continue thinking about the chair position. And as I said before, I really like the co-chair model. And I think more people are doing it now just because of juggling so many things in their lives. And so I recommend going, towards that path if folks are interested in that. And the other thing is, Robin, like you mentioned, the transfer of knowledge and building institutional knowledge. I think it's great that you'll be on till June at least. And I think that provides enough time actually for new members and current members or older members to learn from you and to ask questions. And maybe, if you want to at some point create a document that records some of the institutional knowledge, I can definitely help you with that too.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? I
have a question about term limits. Once you've completed 2 consecutive terms, can you leave and come back, or is that 2 terms, lifetime terms?
So you just have to leave the council for 1 year. So there's like a 1-year period
Okay.
where you can't be on the council, but then you can go back.
Mina, I had one question just to clarify. So you mentioned that the board's going to meet and approve the allocations on the 7th, and then it takes about another week to post those into our specifics. So we really would not be able to meet and vote on things probably until mid-January, correct?
At least mid-January, but if everything goes smoothly, once the board meets and they approve the allocations, we'll at least know what those allocations are. And so even if it takes a while for the database to connect to Mass-Culture, we can provide the allocations to each LCC. So if you have section 2 all set and ready to go, all you'll need to do is add the allocation amount to whatever amount you have. So you can go into your voting meeting soon after that. I am recommending that LCCs, let me just open up my calendar. Yeah, I think if you set your meeting for the week after, so the 7th is the first full week of January. So if you set your meeting for like January 13th and after, that should be fine.
You spelled that all out in your most recent email too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows that section 1 and 2, I believe, is my responsibility, and I will get to it.
We trust you, Amy.
And let me know if you have questions.
I will. There was a video I plan to watch too, so
Okay, great.
in your email.
And just, something else to remember, which I think I included in my email too, February 13th is the absolute last day you can send out denial letters. So denial letters have to go out first before you send out award letters, because we have the 15 days reconsideration process for denied applicants to request reconsideration to the state. And so in the case that happens, we'll receive an email from the denied applicant and we'll review whether or not their application follows state guidelines and if it's aligned with the Newberry Cultural Council's council priorities. And if we approve the reconsideration request, the council has to meet with a quorum and vote on it again as if for the first time. So you can, during that second meeting, either deny or approve. But we do offer that 15-day reconsideration process, which is why you need to have the denial letter sent by February 13th. Because the annual report is due March 1st.
Okay, got that. Anybody else have anything for Mia?
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. I hope all goes well. I hope everyone's, all prepared for the snowstorm that's coming through.
Got generators, got snow blowers, got hot cocoa.
Nice.
Mhm.
Did you want me to stay for the rest of the meeting?
No, I don't think so. I think it's when we should be wrapping up pretty soon.
Okay.
All right.
right,
Thank
well,
you so much, Mina.
yes, you're
holidays.
Happy
welcome.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Stay
Okay.
safe, everyone.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
You.
Bye.
Oh, that's her. We lost Lloyd.
Oh, yeah, he's been in and out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'll. I
We had him
suspect he'll come
twice for a
back.
minute.
I know that I kicked
I was
him
gonna-
out.
I was gonna put the, I'm always gonna put something in the chat, and then I realized that there is no chat with these Zoom meetings. So I will, even though are probably going to largely bypass Smart Simple, I will send you, I will send you all, hi, look, the password anyway. And the password for the MCC site, which is what we really need, that I sent out to everybody in September. So you should all have it, but if you don't, let me know. Okay?
And is this, Robin, to access the page we just looked at?
Yes. Yeah, and what happens is, on my end anyway, all I do is once I put in the new password, there's a new password every year. Once I put that new password in, which I've done already, then it will, it saves it. So I only have to put it in once, and I would assume that's true for everybody. Okay?
And it
So
is,
that's the MCC. That's where you get where we get the panel book. Yes, what she was just showing us.
okay. You're
And
gonna
I see that there are a fair number of applications. That's the usual suspects. Plus, I saw some new ones that you probably recognize as well. Hip hop.
hip hop, yeah. Robin,
So-
were you gonna give us the password again, just to put it here?
Which one? MCC?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have it off the top of
Oh,
my head.
okay.
Yeah, that's a funky email. I mean, funky password. So I'll have to. I made up the one for Smart Simple that I'll be glad to give you, but I'll just email it to you. But we aren't really going to need it. The
Robin, maybe
MCC
just
one,
blast it.
they generate that password.
Robin, if you could just blast it, I think that'd be easier.
Oh,
Some
definitely.
ages ago. Okay, great.
Sure.
Thank you.
No, happy to do that, and I'll put the Smart Simple in the same time, and I'll make it clear.
Great.
All right.
Once we go to using that, only one of us can go in there at a time. So I assume there's only one password then for the Smart Simple.
There's one, yeah, there's one password, and part of the reason for all of this, there was a lot of confusion on my end about this whole Smart Simple, and that's just because of there's just too many things going on. But that I'm so glad that that Mina clarified that. But the other thing was they set it up with my email, and I did not want it used. I did not want my email to be used for obvious reasons. So I went back and asked Mina to please, it was just communications issue, to please change it to our Gmail account so that everybody can use our email, right? So you log on using that email, Newbury Math Cultural Council that Amy kindly set up, and then an email a password that I set up, that I made up, which is I'll just tell you now, you don't have to write it down. Ncc @2021. So it's real simple. But I'll send that to you in an email so you have it. Okay, along with the your login credentials for the MCC website, which is what we really care about. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And since the panel books are already up, we don't care. I don't care about Smart Simple.
No, that's what I was saying.
So
I'll give it to you so you have it, but we don't need it.
Next year we will, because
Mhm.
on that meeting that I joined that the other LCCs were on, it was really emphasized that that was going to be implemented next year.
Yeah.
And that was the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was another point of the confusion on my end is this just this evolutionary aspect of it. But yeah, absolutely, and you should have it anyway. Just because, in the interest of transparency.
So I
I
have
will
a
do that.
question, because this is my first round of reviewing them. And when we have our voting meeting, is it expected that obviously we've gone through all of them, we've made notes or questions, and then we discuss each one?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and actually, that's what Margaret was telling you in detail when that your very first meeting is
Yeah.
exactly that process. Yep. So we review it ahead of time, and I have to say that Margaret, you have been so thorough in your reviews. And spent so much time on it, and I think that's the best practice, and I'm following your lead from now
Oh, well, thank
Lloyd
you.
is throwing some, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt because this is what I do. Lloyd is throwing a ton of background noise, so I'm going to keep muting him.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
wondered where that was coming
Yeah.
from. No, I
Did
just
everybody
like,
hear what I said and what Michelle said?
what's that?
I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard what I said.
Yes.
Okay. And so then when essentially what we do is after everybody has had a chance to review the request, then we just discuss it and we discuss the merits and
Yeah.
how well it does or does not fit our council priorities. We look at the different dollar amounts in the context of our overall budget, and then Amy does the spreadsheet because she's a spreadsheet person, and look at the numbers and then make a determination. And it usually takes us about we've been pretty speedy, right? Maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, but I think we do a really good job of discussing among us all of that. I think we try to be really fair, which is nice.
And just as an FYI, before we get to our actual voting meeting, I have had an opportunity to talk to some of the other council chairs about the applications that they get that are similar, because applicants apply to a number of towns, and I'll share that with you at our voting meeting. And I actually am, I'm going to try to. I hoped that I will have time to talk to a few more people just to get their input. And I put together a whole list way back months ago, and I had some spare time. I put together a whole list of all of the other our counterparts in Newburyport, what you would expect, West Newbury, Amesbury, Salisbury, in hopes that we could do some also knowledge sharing. So we'll see. That's going to be a bit of a time sink, but we'll see if I'll do my best to get that done between now. I mean, obviously depending on other people's time, but there are some people I just know, so it's easy enough to just call them up. So I'll let you know on that.
What, Lloyd?
Pardon me?
Lloyd's trying to say something.
Go, Lloyd.
Sure is.
Can you hear us? Now he just muted himself. I'm going to do it again. Okay, go.
Can't hear a thing. Hello? Oy vey.
We can hear you.
I've been trying.
We can hear you.
Or what sounds like a radio or something.
Yeah, maybe it's the TV that's super loud in the background.
I don't know why.
Can you hear us?
Robin, let me ask you a question, because I know in terms of the chair, you said that you were possibly willing to stay on temporarily, but would you be, are you completing your second term?
I'm completing my second term on the council, my first term as a chair, which I think I've done for 3 years. But yes, I'm so glad that Lena explained that, because I would stay on as ex officio.
You what?
Yeah, that might be a really good solution, is to have 2 co-chairs plus ex officio.
Yep. So Minnie, if you're amenable, and I actually don't want, we certainly don't want to put you on the spot, but
If
you
I'm a
think about
mammal?
it, then, pardon me?
Did you say if I'm a mammal?
No, I don't want to put you on the spot. Oh, you're a mammal, amenable.
Works if you're a mammal.
You were a mammal?
I'm
I
a
don't know,
mammal,
I was wondering if maybe you were a reptile. If you are amenable,
I'm an arachnoid, be careful.
but what I was saying was didn't want to put you on the spot. If you would, let me try it again. If you would consider it, and you and I can talk about this offline. Oh, is that against the rules, Amy? To talk offline?
One-on-one, you can talk,
Okay.
but you
So
can't
if we
make a vote or
otherwise
anything.
talk offline, otherwise known as one-on-one, then we can talk about whether or not it would be feasible for you to be co-chair with me. And then best case scenario is we could find somebody else to join the council. So we'd be up to 7 again. And then that person maybe could be co-chair
Alternatively,
as I phase out.
My question is in terms of term limits, would you be permitted as ex officio to be a co-chair?
No.
No, but I think what you're saying is you could start now as co-chair. You can teach her everything you need to know. And then by then we'll have convinced Lloyd, because he can't hear us, co-chair.
All vote for Lloyd.
He
Will.
did not like that.
Vote for Lloyd. Vote for Lloyd.
Good thing you can't hear us. Oh, Lloyd.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, no.
Technology.
Well,
Now we were picking on him.
Oh, no.
yeah.
I think that's a great plan, Robin, because then you can share all that information with Minnie.
And then we can, oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know that I had an idea for getting, reaching out to people in town for nominations. I use that term loosely for our council. And those people included, just off the top of my head when I was thinking about it, Martha Taylor, who is town planner and knows lots of people. And also Jean Atkinson at the library.
Oh, Jean Ackerley.
Ackerley. Jean Atkinson is somebody who's a member of our church. I always get those names mixed up, but I don't get them mixed up. So those were my ideas. And I'm going to be talking to Martha soon anyhow on another topic. But I just wanted to run that by you and see if you had ideas of, people who've been in town for a while, and both of them, of course, are employees. But they know a lot of people, especially Jean. Well, no, both of them know a lot of people. So what do you think of that idea? Any comments?
This is in terms of recruiting new members or chair or both?
Yeah, we're going to need one new member in 2021. So it would be, I would just talk to Martha and I'd say, hey, the cultural council needs, and Martha also, she sings with the choral society, so she's just a good person, and she has it was in this arts milieu. Although I don't think she lives in Newbury, but whatever, she knows lots of people. So anyway, in the as we've been tossing around the idea of how to come up with not names of people, but people who might join us. As opposed to just casting a stone out there, which also makes me a little nervous, because we want a cohesive group, and just to have somebody come in whom we don't know, even though certainly it's open to everybody. I don't know whether casting a wide net is the right thing to do.
I don't have any ideas.
Yeah, so I think talking to both of them is fine. I don't know if they live in Newbury, but I hate to say it, but there is this nice people of Newbury thing. I bet you if you put a notice in there, I think people will self-select. They'll say, hey, I'm interested in talking to you. I suspect.
I said that to Robin also, and she said, no, thank you. But
what is that? Because why?
It's not. I'm not the boss of this. First of all, I wouldn't want to limit. It's Facebook, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you're gonna eliminate anybody who's not on Facebook and anybody who's not on Nice People of Newbury. Although I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
Well,
I just think we need to. I think we ought to get cast a wider net than that. But if I'm just talking to people, that's not a very wide net.
No, networking is always the best way, but putting something in Newbury, Nice People Newbury, putting something in the newspaper, I'm sure they would just run a quick little blurb, right?
Well, let's think about how we've been successful, and I want to wrap this up in a few minutes, but let's think about how we've been successful to this point. So I've got 5 years tenure on this council, and my observation has been it's who you know, it's networking. And we invite people whom we think will be interested, will make a good contribution, who have for you, Bart. Certainly, it was my thinking would be a good opportunity for you to get to know people, and I just thought you'd make a great contribution. So, but that's not to me, that's not to say that we, have to do it this way. I mean, Amy, you invited Michelle?
There's actually
And,
another
Kathy
person that
Muse,
was on that. Oh,
Kathy Muse invited me.
Yep. Me too.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Kathy Muse told me about it.
Oh, she did. Oh, yeah, you're right. So why don't we do this? Why don't we wrap up in a few
Wait,
minutes?
Michelle,
Everybody could just,
wait, Michelle had something.
oh, I'm sorry.
There's a couple of neighbors that I noticed were on the previous list who have not been on the council since 2012. They may have an interest.
You had another one, Michelle, on your side of the river from 2010. And I know her pretty well if I see her.
Michelle.
No, Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, yep. Can't all come on Cottage Road though.
Old Town's taken over.
Wondering
Go
what
for it.
river you were talking about.
We need some more from Plum Island.
Yeah,
It's also not just who you know, it's who you know that is interested in culture, really.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Yeah. And
I have other people I know, but they wouldn't be a great fit.
I just thought of a Plum Island person, actually, Jean Anderson. Bart, you know Jean?
I know the name. I don't think I know her though.
Well, if you want a Plum Island person, she actually might be a pretty good candidate. Nobody knows Jean? Does anybody know John March?
Yes.
Dr. John March?
Yeah, I know John. Is Jean?
It's his wife.
Oh, so I've met her. Yes, I know John, but I don't know Jean. very
Well,
well.
she's actually been super busy helping John close the practice on Route 1. But she might be ready to. Their sons are the one in particular. Is a very talented actor, and so it might be a sweet spot for Jean. Let me ask her.
Oh, she'd be great.
Yeah, she'd be great.
You guys, I did get an email from Lloyd. First, he demanded that I unmute him. I explained that I did repeatedly and that we could hear him. And then he said he doesn't know why his audio stopped working. This is why he pays others to do his technology. Apologies to everyone. See you next time.
Okay. All right. So we are 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. Does anybody have any further comments on that topic?
No.
I might just ask Jean if everybody's okay with that.
Sounds
Yep.
great.
Yes.
I did look up that Kind People of Newbury Byfield, and there are 1,500 people in that group.
Whoa.
Wow,
Yeah, it's a big group.
that's
Yeah.
I never even heard of it.
It's a big group with a lot of activity.
Mhm,
Really? Are you on Facebook,
Yeah.
Minnie?
mhm.
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh,
So
is
I don't
it
really go on Facebook, but I even look at it sometimes.
Yeah, many, there's one called Nice People of Newburyport, which is also very active. But the
But they're
Newbury
through
one's
Fa-
becoming
they're through
increasingly
Facebook?
active.
They're through Facebook?
Facebook, yeah.
No, I don't.
Is it Kind People, right?
Newbury
Yeah, I think you're
/
right.
Byfield.
Yeah.
Well, there was a contretemps between nice people and kind people in Newburyport. Is what happened there, but I don't know if that's been reflected with the Newbury.
Oh.
That was a
Could
little
be.
messy, but that's a little bit of gossip. So
There's been a lot of chatter lately about the landfill, this would be a nice switch, I think.
oh yeah, wow. There was a letter in the paper this morning, but from somebody who had to go to, well, that we all have to go to Georgetown.
Oh, Robert.
Did you see that?
Brown. Oh,
I went
yeah.
yesterday, it was fine.
Yeah, Lynn went today. I didn't hear any reports, but this guy was complaining about. I mean, it's closer for us actually.
Robert Brown complains about everything.
Oh,
so-
does he? I don't know him. Does he live near you?
I
Oh,
know him,
yes,
actually.
lives down the road.
Okay, that's not.
Amy
Isn't that
probably
not
knows
Fred
about
somebody, right? Who complains about somebody?
Hmm?
What?
That was a joke.
Oh.
Fred somebody
Yeah,
who
I've heard
complains
of
about
him.
everything?
not everything.
Fred has good reason. Robert Brown does not.
So just a reminder, we are being recorded.
Right.
It's a
Oh,
public meeting.
Yes.
thank you, Bart.
But I do
Yeah,
have
I
a
don't
question as a
mind being
Newbury
recorded
resident.
now.
I first moved here in 1973. I didn't think we had a landfill anymore.
Oh, we do.
We do. Transfer station.
Oh,
Yeah.
the transfer station. Very different. You
Just call it a dump.
there.
Okay, so what have I got on my list here? I have,
A date.
oh, update on NCC reimbursements from Amy T.
Super exciting, you guys. People are getting paid.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's taken me quite a bit to figure out how to do it. The town has been super helpful, but I'd say I'm 75% of the way there. We have one that just came in yesterday, so hopefully I can get that done with very little intervention. So we're making progress.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
much.
it was
for
a little
doing
bit of a
that.
learning curve. It was harder than I thought, but now that I'm there and I'm organized, it will be, I think, better.
Okay, anything I could do to make it easier? So the reimbursements have to be, they have to be co-signed. I don't think it has to be the chair, but I co-sign them now, and which is totally simple. And then, but that's the process. And then it's Amy, we sign off on it. Excuse me, she submits it to the town. And then Eileen, who is the accountant or her assistant, cuts the check or whatever, however they do it, makes an electronic payment to the recipient. But
There's a
it's such
few
a
other
huge relief,
forms.
because of course we all had to sign that paperwork, you guys remember? It was such a pain.
Yeah, I
to
couldn't
get
do anything till that was done.
Yeah, and we, and just for background for everybody, we've never had to do that before. We were totally gobsmacked by that. And when Amy was asking down at town hall why the rules have changed for us, like what did we do wrong? So we haven't really solved that, but at least we got it done. So thank you for all for managing that process. I have set a date for voting meeting. Do we want to do that now that we have our dates, or shall we wait until after the first of the year?
Sounds good.
I would appreciate if we could do it now because I'm tied up nights doing conference calls a lot of the time. So I would love
Okay.
to keep them. And actually, I don't know if we could also make a date for the following to do the ones that had been denied. I think we have to have a second meeting for that, she said.
No,
No, only if they
We
go
don't.
back to the state.
Only for
Okay.
appeals, yeah.
no, we've had,
Robin, has that ever happened?
sorry, Amy, go ahead.
Has that ever happened? That
Yes. No, it's never gone back to the state.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we had someone questioning, yeah, we had somebody questioning a denial,
Mm-hmm.
which we handled, but the woman actually raised some questions about the reason for the denial, which was which was a bit of a wake-up call for us, and ended up being, I think, quite valuable as to the reason why we denied it. But anyway, so just from a process standpoint, what happens is once we have our voting meeting, then the chair sends out the denial letters, waits for that period, and then when that period has passed by, then the chair sends out the approval letters, right? And then when the whatever it is, the concert is performed, whenever it has taken place, then the organization is responsible for submitting receipts, and the reimbursement form we were just talking about submits that. Now that we have our email, our council email, submits it there, and then Amy takes it from here, which is the oversimplification of the process, but that's essentially what happens. Okay. So let's see. I can tell you that conference call wise in the evening, Mondays and Wednesdays are the best for me.
How about Monday, Wednesday, the 20th?
Wednesday, the 20th is fine with me.
It's fine with me. Wednesdays are about the only night that I can do
Oh,
it.
good. That's good. That's great, Bart.
That's the night for me too, Wednesday.
Oh, super.
I can do that.
So January
Alright.
20th?
January.
Michelle?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay.
Fine.
So is this, how long of a meeting do we make this? Are we 2 hours?
I would do
Okay.
2, just to be safe.
Okay. So
Yeah.
6 to 8?
6 to 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Probably
I'll set
won't
up a
take that
Zoom.
long, but we don't know. We've never done this remote before, so it might take longer than when we're in person.
Okay, that's
We don't
fine.
know.
It went really
Okay.
quick last year.
Sorry?
I remember it having gone very quickly last year.
Yeah, and it's really thrilling to know that we have good funds to work with. So, okay, I'm set with my calendar. I will, Michelle, you're going to send out, well, you know what? I'll send out the password, and I'll just put the voting meeting date, this date we just set in that email. And then Michelle, you'll follow up with the meeting minutes.
Yep.
Which would be fantastic. And I'm hoping Lloyd can make it for that as well. And then we covered everything.
So-
Anything else?
Well, once we have the password, we could go in there and
Yep.
start looking at the application.
Mhm,
Great.
mhm. Yep,
I'll set up the Zoom as soon as we hang up too, so I don't forget.
super. Yeah, and then I'll get the town. Oh, by the way, Michelle,
Yes.
are you going to have a chance, or have you had a chance to talk to Leslie about how to actually post that
I've
meeting?
talked to Leslie, but I don't need to talk to Leslie. I have to talk to Susan.
You have to talk to Susan.
And yeah, that just hasn't happened yet for a
Okay,
variety of
no,
reasons.
it's no problem. I just wanted to, sorry, again, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay.
So you let me know when you've met with Susan and can post that.
Yep.
And then I'll send you the paperwork.
Okay,
Okay?
yes,
So it's it's a month away, so no rush. Okay?
yes.
Okay. Bart, thank you very much for reminding us that this meeting was being recorded.
There are a
And
few
I-
names being thrown out there.
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking about
One's
that.
my
We were
dad.
talking about nominating somebody.
One's my dad, he knows.
I'll also say that I don't really do Facebook, but I found out through Facebook that Bart had a very special day. So
Well, Minnie did too.
Thank you,
Minnie
Minnie.
did a couple weeks ago.
Oh, big birthday?
There.
Yeah, we missed a few
Yeah.
birthdays.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
lots of Sagittarians around.
Yes.
We won't ask if there was a 0 at the end of it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
All
Okay,
right.
so
are
maybe
we
you
done?
and I actually should talk, you and I should try to talk about this whole concept of co-chair.
Who, you and me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can talk.
okay,
We can always talk, baby.
okay, baby. I'll
Happy
call you.
holidays,
All right.
everyone.
Good to see you.
Bye,
all.
Bye, everyone. See you
All right,
next year.
wait, don't go. I have to make a motion to, somebody has to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Meeting's
All
adjourned,
right. Happy New Year.
7:07.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.